Now we're going to look at questions about the age of exploration, which occurred during the 1400s and 1500s. Once again, we're going to use our main idea chart, and when we become familiar with the central idea and the key connections, it will really help us a lot to answer any question that the Regents brings to us about this main idea. Okay, this particular topic. So this topic, the age of exploration, the main idea, very simple. The main idea is that the Europeans sailed throughout the world looking for trade routes to expand their wealth. So during the 1400s and 1500s, Europe sailed throughout the world looking for ways to expand their wealth, different trade routes. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the key terms and connections. Let's focus first on Spain and Portugal. Okay, so Portugal and Spain started the age of exploration, and then England, France, and the Netherlands followed. And those were the Dutch, and those were the European countries that began the age of exploration. Let's come back now and take a look at some of the causes of this particular time period. What led to the age of exploration? Well, one of our key concepts here is that navigational instruments and technologies were one of the causes. And also there was a demand for new trade routes. People wanted new ways to get their goods and materials into other nations. All right, so let's come back now and let's take a look at some of the famous explorers who were part of this age of exploration. So some of the famous explorers are Vasco da Gama, okay, Vasco da Gama, Bartholomew Diaz, and Christopher Columbus. These were some of our famous explorers. And let's take a look then at the effects of the age of exploration. What happened because of this period of great exploration by the Europeans? Well, one of the effects that's really always on the regions deals with the issue of the Columbian Exchange. The Columbian Exchange. And the Columbian Exchange had positive and negative effects. Ideas and culture and people and animals and plants were exchanged between the Europeans and the natives of the countries they traveled to. This is an example of cultural diffusion, but the whole exchange of ideas and cultures is called the Columbian Exchange. So this was a positive effect in the sense that cultures were exchanged. But what were some of the negative effects of the Columbian Exchange? Well, part of the negative effect is imperialism. And Europeans conquered and abused other cultures. And then you have what's called the encomienda system, where Spain forced taxation and labor from the native people. So these were negatives of the Columbian Exchange. And keep that in mind as you seek to answer questions about the age of exploration. So we bring it back down, and we could take a look at the whole chart now in its entirety. So you have the positive effects with the Columbian Exchange, and you have negative effects, imperialism, the encomienda system. You have the major countries that were involved in this age of exploration, and your chart will also give you an idea of some of the new instruments and navigational technologies, such as the compass and other means. But you're looking for new instruments, and many questions in the Regents will deal with this whole idea here, that there were new instruments and that there was demand for new trade routes. Keep in mind also the encomienda system and the central idea that the age of exploration, Europeans sailed throughout the world looking for trade routes to expand their wealth. Well, let's take a look then at some questions about this topic. Number one, during the 1500s, technological advances in navigation, naval engineering, and map making contributed directly to the start of the, well, we know our answer now. We're not dealing with the Gupta Empire here. That's not our central idea about this. The Mongol Empire, no, but it is in fact the age of exploration. It goes back to our main idea that there were advances in navigation that led directly to that age of exploration. You want to look back at your chart, you'll see it right here. New navigational instruments. Okay, you'll see it right here in your chart. New navigational instruments and technology was one of the causes of the age of exploration. All right, let's go right back now and take a look at another question. Okay. In the invention of the compass and the astrolabe, the European dependence on spices from Asia, and the rise of nation states in Europe, these developments all influenced the start of what? Well, by now you know the answer. The start of the, again, age of exploration. That's on our key, that's one of our key ideas on our chart. And so you see, questions about this are always going to have these main ideas in them. Let's look at one final question. The encomienda system in Latin America was a direct result of, well, if you remember, we come back to our main idea chart once again, and what do we see here? We see at the bottom, we see the encomienda system, which was a very negative system, which led to forced taxation and slave labor from the native people. So go back now, let's answer our question, and we'll find that that during the encomienda system in Latin America was a direct result of, as we said before, the age of exploration.